Standard astrophysics assumes that black holes are infinitely dense singularities, constantly pulling matter through an empty, curved vacuum. The 9.6-dimensional framework suggests an alternative structural reality. It starts with the axiom that space is not an empty void, but a highly viscous, continuous cosmic fluid. Within this medium, a black hole functions as a cavitation void, a low-pressure pocket within the thick cosmic fluid. This reverses the vector of gravity. Instead of mass pulling from within, the surrounding fluid's pressure pushes violently into the empty void. Traditional relativity relies on a bowling ball curving a rubber sheet, but this model describes a physical pressure gradient. Reversing this single vector changes our understanding of how information is processed, turning a gravitational anomaly into a measurable mechanical engine. The p-total equation serves as the master blueprint for this alternative gravitational model. By calculating the parameters of fluid pushing into the void, the formula shifts from abstract geometry to fluid dynamic engineering. The metric tensor, g mu nu, represents the meat, the organic grain of the space-time fluid itself. The sink, delta Vj, defines the 13-node hollow center where that fluid pressure converges. The final term, the floor shavings of 1 over phi to the 9.6, accounts for the Hawking friction venting out of the boundary shell. This exhaust creates a turbulent interaction at the edges of the sink, the fat noise that produces the anomalous gravitational effects we currently label as dark matter. The equation suggests the black hole is a mechanical engine that can be deconstructed part by part. To map the mechanics, we begin with the first term, the metric tensor. The space-time fluid has an organic grain, meaning distance must be calculated by following the natural curve of the medium. The high viscosity of this vacuum, eta, is what generates the immense pressure we experience as gravitational force. That pressure is directed into delta Vj, which defines the geometry of the void. The void is a 13-node vector equilibrium, 12 outer spheres packed around a 13th hollow central sphere. This functions as an Aikido sink, yielding to the 9.6D pressure and allowing the fluid to slide into the hollow center rather than blocking it. This propeller and the wake diagram shows how a mass creates a low-pressure zone in the fluid, creating a vortex that pulls the liquid inward. As the propeller spins, it leaves a trail of tiny vapor bubbles, the physical reality behind string theory strings. Defining the black hole as a structural void explains the physical friction inherent in the vacuum. The heat from this system originates in the seams between the 12 outer spheres. Even when packed tightly, 51.85% of this cluster remains as void space. This creates a 0.4-dimensional gap, the precise threshold the liquid vacuum must squeeze through to enter the central sink. Hawking radiation is the mechanical friction of the universe rubbing together at these specific seams. Multiplying the base universal anchor of 2803.115 by the 0.4-dimensional gap yields exactly 1121.246. 1121.246 represents the constant friction of this shavings blade effect. This mechanical grinding provides a physical cause for spaghettification. Matter is caught in the vortex strain and physically shredded by the pressure gradient. This solves the information paradox, as data is not deleted, but ground down into raw vacuum potential. The final exhaust is measured by the term plus or minus 1 over phi to the 9.6. These floor shavings represent the energy venting out of the fractured boundary shell. The golden ratio, phi, acts as the flow control for this cosmic liquid, organizing the exhaust into a stable geometric pattern. Modern cosmology assumes that black holes eventually evaporate into absolute zero. In this framework, zero has a calibrated vacuum weight of 0.111111. As the black hole's energy drops, its decay halts abruptly upon hitting this geometric floor. A non-zero vacuum floor ensures the universe's internal mathematical logic remains completely intact, preventing the system from collapsing into impossible contradictions. When the collapsing black hole reaches the 0.111111 vacuum floor, the decay stops. The 13-sphere cluster snaps into a permanent macro-quantized structure, a continuous torus. Binary mathematics locks this torus into perfect destructive interference, where 0.1, 0.0, 0.1, 0.0, and 1.0, 1.0, 1.0 perfectly counterbalance. This balanced state scales directly back to the 0.111111 vacuum floor, ensuring infinite stability. This torus functions as a permanent loop, processing energy at the calibrated vacuum floor. The inward throat pulls vacuum potential through the 0.4 gap, while the outward shell distributes it back into the universe. This structural shift repurposes the localized void into an energy router, maintaining the fluid pressure of the wider universe. Stability leads to a final scenario: two toroidal remnants colliding in the deep vacuum. The merger instantly doubles the baseline vacuum value to 0.222222. This doubling overloads the golden spiral harmony, breaking the containment loop. A geometric inversion occurs, where the inward pulling flow paths instantly become outward expulsion paths. This inversion triggers a localized Big Bang, multiplying the foundational tension of the background grid. The resulting expansion creates a brand new cosmic bubble within the fluid medium. The black hole functions as an evolutionary seed, scrubbing matter into a stable geometric state until a collision triggers the next cycle of expansion.